So I noticed on these, they're kind of cool. You pull this little part down.
Yeah,
Out,
the
so
quick,
people who
they're
are,
like quick
Quick.
connect fittings.
yeah, so I guess if they're, I don't know, constantly hooking and unhooking, that'll be easier. I don't know. So we kind of mentioned that. But then with the PSI, that's pretty much what another differentiator. We have one that's going to be a 5/8 inch diameter hose, which obviously this one is rated for 120 psi. All the rest of them is for 160 psi. And then obviously the black ones over here are like bursts of 375 pounds and then a working limit of 195. But I mean, on this RV, and like just this one says that we're not supposed to exceed 60. So we looked it up, and pretty much one like the standard size for the hoses on the inside plumbing that comes with these is about a half-inch diameter. So not obviously not limiting the hose going into that is going to help your guys' pressure and actual flow. But also, all these hoses are well overrated for what the RV wants you to have it at, the pressure. Also, the average, we looked up the average, like, in-home shower operates around like 60 psi. So when people are talking about how they don't really have enough shower, blah blah blah, or enough shower pressure, we go over the different things that you can do outside of what's already in your RV to make sure that the pressure stays good for those good showers. So I think we hit all that, but one thing we did tell them to grab is one of these. Volterra makes it. It's just a pressure regulator, just because
Yeah.
whenever you hook up somewhere and then you go hook up somewhere else, the pressure may not be the same and also not consistent. So let's just say, like they say, around 50 to 60 psi at a site, but let's just say there's not a lot of people using water at that time. It could go over that 60 psi. So we don't want to damage anything on the inside because that's expensive. So grab a regulator. And this is also, there's different types of like angles and stuff. We have a 90 here, so it's going to prevent it from kinking and stuff like that. So we hit on that as well. Other than that, is there anything you guys think we left out based on what we just went over?
I was going to bring up the pressure regulator. That was actually something that I was going to, because I know that based on the research I did, there's a lot of recommendations because like you said, different campsites have different pressures from where you get the city water. So having that regulator on hand is a good idea to just keep things consistent.
Yeah, I think it's almost always going to be well over 60 anyway, coming from city water.
Yeah.
And most of what I've heard people recommend is go with a 5/8 inch hose because you'll have the most flow possible. You're going to have to reduce your pressure, obviously, because it can only go up to 60 in the RV. I know we have some pressure reducers that only go up to like 40, so I would definitely recommend the ones that are 50, 60. I would say, the length of the hose is just going to depend on where it is you're going. You might want a really short one and a really long one if you're traveling all over the place. Anything that can help keep it from kinking. So they're, like you said, 90-degree fittings. Some of them have the, what's it called? It's not kink stop, but it's something like that. The ones that you were showing before that have that kind of built in.
Yeah, it's like
Quick connect.
No, the ones that actually have.
Oh yeah, those.
Hose saver is what they call it.
Hose saver, yeah. The quick connect, I don't know how many. I'm assuming it is a lot easier. The thing is I don't know how much easier it is if you can't actually keep that quick connect fitting attached to your city water inlet all the time.
Right.
Because ultimately you're still going to have to screw that in unless it can stay in there at all times. Otherwise, you're still just going to have to screw that in.
In my opinion, for instance, this one here, it's got a little twisty. Over time, they kind of get all seized up. Doesn't matter what they're made of. For example, this one here, made of the same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it just turns a little. It's not. This like spins. This thing, you gotta like actually turn it. So like to be able to put the guy on there and then turn this, it's a little bit more difficult. But
Yeah.
with this, I just put this up there. I don't have to mess with a whole lot of hose. And I just kind of just twist it on there, and then take the guy. It is a little bit easier. They're definitely not going to be able to keep it hooked up. Well, I guess they could, but I wouldn't. Like, it's not really necessary. It's not going to do anything.
We do also have inlets that actually have little knobs or larger knobs on them so that you can hold on to the knob while you screw the hose on. So they can always use something like that too if they just have that plain OEM inlet.
Like this guy?
The inlet itself has like a hand grip knob.
Oh,
so you can actually like hold on to the knob while you're twisting the hose on.
Oh, okay. That's pretty neat.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the quick disconnect option is a good one.
And just for storage too. It's, I just don't like rolling up hose because they don't pretty much never ever end up getting this tightly wound up in my experience. But that's just with normal hoses, but I'm also the guy who drinks out of normal hoses, so.
Yeah. We've all done it. You're just not supposed to, lead, whatever.
Yeah, I get it. But all in all, pretty much done. We got a couple other things we want to do on it, but other than that, anything else?
Yeah, the only other thing that I think we've already kind of touched on it is storage. If someone is going to get a big long hose, because maybe they don't know how, they're going to be close to the city water spout, I'm sure, but the longer the hose, the harder it is to store and keep wound together and keep it in a place in your RV. So I think once you're getting to the bigger hoses, you can say that, yeah, these give you the extra length, but you also need to have a place to put them because they're so long.
Very true. We'll probably hit on that too a little bit more if we need to. Just because the 50-footers, man, that's big.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, anything else we would add to it? Obviously, the regulator, I recommended the 90 just because. But other than that, it won't taste bad. It won't pink as easy. And if you want storage option, you got it, pretty much. It's a short video, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But, there was another one that was online that was like a minute long. But, yeah. Good?
Sounds good.
Yeah, I think you basically got it all. They're hoses.
Yeah, right? Well, I guess we will end this. Thank you guys for your time, and hopefully you guys are impressed and happy with the final product.
Sure we will be.
Let us know if you have any questions.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.
Thanks.